Today I'm here to persuade my peers of COMM 110 to purchase a Nintendo Switch. You should consider buying the Nintendo Switch solely because it is a portable gaming system and it can cure a lot of boredom and make friendly get-togethers a lot of fun. Today I will explain 3 reasons why I think you should get a Switch. It is portable, it is easy to use, and it has a large variety of games. Now onto my reasons to purchase a Switch. The first reason that you should purchase a Nintendo Switch is because it is portable. The portability of the Nintendo Switch makes it really easy to share with friends and family. The Switch is able to be hooked up to your television with an HDMI cord, but it can also be used as a handheld device. The Switch is an excellent device to take on road trips and vacations because of its portability. The Nintendo Switch was released in March of 2017. According to Close-Up Media, Nintendo sold over 15 million units in North America between 2017 and 2019. Close-Up Media states that in its launch month, Nintendo sold over 906,000 Switches. The popularity of the Nintendo Switch skyrocketed when the pandemic hit. In 2020, according to Grace Dean at Business Insider, Nintendo sold 12 million Switches. The article was written in November of 2020. That means from January 2020 to November of 2020, 9 months, Nintendo sold 12 million Nintendo Switches. In 2021, according to Chris Nuttall, Nintendo sold 24.1 million units in the first 9 months of its financial year that ends in March. The Switch is not comparable to the PlayStation and Xbox systems, simply because it is not really meant for that kind of gaming experience. PlayStation and Xbox have a lot more games that you can play online with friends or by yourself, while Nintendo has games that tend to be more fun when they are played with friends and family, with the exception of a few. It does not stream anything in 4K, and according to the New York Times, it doesn't offer very many streaming video apps, but it makes up for those things with its extensive array of games. The portability is definitely a favorable selling point, much like the beloved DS and Nintendo Game Boy. The Nintendo Switch could very well be this generation's Nintendo DS or Game Boy solely because of its portability. I've just discussed my first main reason as to why you should buy a Nintendo Switch, because it is portable and shareable. My second reason you should purchase a Nintendo Switch is because it is really easy to set up and use. The Nintendo Switch is very user-friendly, and when you are setting up your Switch for the first time, all you really need to do is follow the prompts. The Joy-Con controllers use the console to charge unless you have a separate accessory to charge your Joy-Cons. So the steps are super easy in setting up your Switch. There's 2 steps. The first one is to connect the USB plug from the AC adapter into the USB connector on the bottom of the Switch, and then plug the AC adapter into the wall. So here is a picture of the AC adapter. It's just this big box on the end of your cord, and then on this end of the cord is the part that goes into the Switch. So if you're setting your Switch up on the TV through your dock, you're going to want to put your AC adapter in the top and your HDMI cord in the bottom. The HDMI cord, just make sure the picture goes on your screen. So the dock will charge your Switch. So here is a close-up picture of the USB charging port, and that is found on the bottom of your Switch. The second step is just to attach the Joy-Con controllers to the Nintendo Switch console and then follow the on-screen prompts. So essentially, they just slide into the slots, and then your screen will come on as your Switch is charging. Or if you're setting it up on the TV, you'll connect it to a Joy-Con controller. But if you're setting it up on the TV, make sure that you give your Joy-Cons enough time to charge so they don't die in the middle of your setup. So after your screen comes on, it'll give you your prompts, like you're going to put in the date, your birthday, all that good stuff. And then on this side, it's just showing you the parts of your Switch. So here is the top, and on the top you'll find the power button, the volume buttons, and the game card slot. There's also a headphone jack. So here's the top. That's all the good stuff there. And then your SD card slot will be found on the back of your Switch, underneath this little, it's like a stand. You don't really use it that often. And then here's another close-up the game slot. And then here it's just showing you the anatomy of your Joy-Con controllers. So on your left Joy-Con controller, you'll find your screen capture button, and on the right, you'll find your home button. And then on this side, it's showing you your accessories that you can get. You can get different colored Joy-Cons. Usually when your Switch comes, it'll come with dark gray Joy-Cons. You can get stickers and such for customizing your Switch. And then you can get Joy-Con grips, you can get cases, game card cases, you can get stylus pens for your Switch as well. All this information comes from the Nintendo Switch support website. They're really helpful on there. If you need anything, just go on there and search up your problem. Once the screen comes on, you'll follow the prompts, like I said, and then because the Switch only has so much storage, you're gonna want to get an SD card for your Switch. To purchase games through the Nintendo Store on your device, you will have to enter your account password before it allows you access to the Nintendo Store. It's just an extra safety step. It's also important to note that you'll have to add your debit or credit card to your account before you purchase to make it easier. Something you should know about playing the Switch with friends is that sometimes they will have to create or already have access to a Nintendo account just so their stats carry over. I have just discussed my second reason as to why you should buy a Nintendo Switch, because it is super easy to set up and operate. My final reason why you should buy a Nintendo Switch is because of its large variety of games they have released for the console. Nintendo has put out just a little over 4,300 games in the short amount of time that the Switch has been on the market. According to Shazant Singh, the most popular games to play in 2020 included Minecraft, Fortnite, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and a couple other games. There is a ton of other games that have gained popularity since then. However, the pandemic had a huge impact on sales for the Nintendo Switch games, especially Animal Crossing New Horizons. The lockdown led to the Switch being next to impossible to get your hands on, and according to Close Up Media in 2019, there were 14 Nintendo Switch games in North America that sold more than 1 million units, and 4 selling more than 6 million units. Some of those games included Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Smash Bros., and Super Mario Odyssey. Close Up Media states that the franchises like Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. Broke records for Nintendo because their games sold faster than any other games in those series. According to Ural Garrett and CNN, the top 3 best games to play on the Switch are Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and Super Mario Odyssey. CNN lists over 30 games to play on the Switch they claim to be the best. There are so many amazing games to play on the console. It is super important to note that the Switch offers a ton of indie titles as well, alongside their more popular franchises and Nintendo exclusives. Animal Crossing New Horizons was released around the time the pandemic hit, so in like 2020. And according to NintendoLife.com in 2021, the game had sold 37.62 million copies since release. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had sold about 43.25 million copies. Nintendo has a lot of games to choose from, and most of them seem to do quite well when it comes to selling copies. I have just discussed my third reason as to why you should buy a Switch, because there's a large variety of games to choose from. I have just discussed 3 reasons why you should buy a Nintendo Switch. It is portable, it is really easy to use, and there's a ton of games to choose from. There are so many games that you can play on the Switch, and you can play with up to 3 people unless you add an extra console, which bumps that number up from 3 to 7 other people. There are games that you can play online as well. Overall, the Nintendo Switch is a perfect option for you if you enjoy games that you can also play handheld. I urge you to go and purchase Nintendo Switch at the Pekin GameStop for $299.99.